to play nice today. So quick video showing you a quick update video on the current build. So some changes to the application. The most important two are the fact that for in edit mode we've got rid of the checkboxes, so they're gone. Those were causing all sorts of residual problems that weren't anticipated, so I got rid of them and reworked the code for that section. The other important change here is that you can now load this offline, so if we get a crash or a freeze offline, the application itself can be loaded in offline mode. So the layers that are serialized or written to the device you can load even if you haven't got an internet connection. It'll just read off the device. Before it was only reading the internet, and if you didn't have internet it failed. Now it loads from the device. The other thing, it stores the edits offline. The only time you ever get rid of the edits is when you apply the offline edits button. We need to test this, but it should be that you'll go out in the field, collect data, come back, then go back out again, come back, and then you hit apply offline edits. It will push both sets of edits out to ArcGIS Online, and it'll then wipe the file. So it starts again from scratch. So every time you hit apply offline edits, all those edits should go. Let's look for some of the things we've seen before there. Double features I've seen, but I think there's a fix in for that. If you put one point, sometimes I've seen another point added on top. I think that's not there anymore. That was there in the last version, but it should be fixed. Attachments remain a problem still. A problem in the sense that they're not consistently being pushed to the server, and I've looked at it for the last couple of days actually. And it looks like it's just failing on ArcGIS Online, and I have no idea why. Usually it's associated to a new feature, but if you put like 3 or 4 new features in there and attach pictures to each of them, every once in a while it'll fail. And we've got a mechanism in here that checks, resends it, and it'll do it a certain number of times. And if it fails, it fails. So I think we'll pop up a message to say it's failed if that is truly the case. But that remains a problem, the attachments being inconsistent, and it does look like it's on the ArcGIS it looks like it's on ArcGIS server end of things that online, that it's not ingesting those. So keep looking at that. But overall the workflow is the same. You've got the same buttons, you've got the same pop-ups when you click in offline mode. The edit piece with the node checkboxes there means you can now select a feature, and then the pop-up will come up if I did it right. These are kind of sensitive, these iPads. So there's your pop-up box. These dates, they're fixed on an Android. For some reason in the iPad they're not fixed. The selections as well, when you select something, this one's not being populated, this drop down, but if it had been populated you'd see the text in there. So that all works good. Geolocate, I've tested, that works. What else? Let's go offline. That's all the same. Now if the device crashed at this point and we were truly offline, you would be able to load the application again, so that's good. The TPK you see there is one I'm dropping in the Dropbox today. It's not John's one, it's one that I put together, but you can use it for this extent, just to test it. What else was I going to tell you? All the workflows again should be the same. So if we do, let's do a couple of things actually. I looked on Christie's iPad, which is the same version you've got, the iPad 3, at this list, and it should appear the same as here. I made a change to this container, and it should be wider now, so you shouldn't get that truncation you were seeing before. But let me know if you do. It doesn't. I don't see the truncation on Christie's iPad. So let's just do a quick edit. I think the editing piece is a little bit easier to use now. So we'll OK that. We'll do this. I love this one. This is great. So we'll do that, and then we'll OK it, and then let's just go back online, and shebang. And there they both are. So that should work seamlessly. Let me know if we see any problems there, if we see like double, any issues. I mean, basically there's enough reworking in here that we really need to go piece it together again and just kind of treat it as a version 2 in some ways, because there's quite a few changes in here. fixes from the last one. So I'm interested to see what feedback you've got, what things don't work particularly, and any feedback you've got, issues that I know about, the attachment piece I've mentioned. If you change an attribute offline and then you come back online and update, that isn't reflected until you reload the application. That's something in their code which is a problem, which I've spoken to them about, Esri that is, last week, and I'm waiting for feedback from one of the guys on the team about that one. One other issues, I've got a list here of things that I'm aware of, or anything else you come up with, but the things that I'm aware of, I'm going to rework the photo window, the date piece on the iPad needs to be redone. If you zoom to a point, you know, if we bring up the pop-up here and we zoom to a point, that can crash the app, so be aware of that. If it's a polygon or a line, no, but for some reason if it's a point, it can crash it. I haven't taken the zoom to out because it's quite useful with the polygon stuff. Let me just actually show you here. I'll do the polygon if I can tap it. I mean, that's actually quite nice, I like that. But if it zooms in too far and too quickly to a point, it tends to cause a problem, so just be conscious of that. I think that's about it. The only things I want is really just test it out, Eric. I'm hoping it's A, more stable, and B, if we do find it crashes offline, we are actually able to pull it back up and keep working. I mean, really the goal of this is, if we lose it offline, we can still work, we can still bring our stuff back to the office, and we can still update the server. That's the crucial workflow, and that's one of the reasons why this rework was put in place. Partly that, and partly to get past those checkbox issues. So treat this like, in some ways, it's a version 2 of the application. It's a continuation of the old code base, but we've taken some of the stuff out. I've taken some of the stuff out that wasn't working so well and was causing some problems. So we need to treat it in some ways like a thorough test from end to end. So anyway, there it is. Let me know. You don't need the configuration file for the IPA that I gave you, but you can use it if you want. It'll just read that stuff locally. Try out the TPK I've put there. What else can I tell you? And just give me feedback. Let me know. I'll get you feedback. Again, I'm planning to come up there again in the next couple of weeks, so we can just walk through it again and make sure everything looks good. But let me know what you see, and really give it a good pounding and tell me what doesn't work, what's any freezes, any issues that you're seeing, because like I say, this is my testing to date, and your testing is going to be the most crucial testing, because you'll be thorough, and you know, I'm looking at it all the time. So let me know what you see, and we'll go from there. Okay, thanks, Eric.